Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lost Finding the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. By the way, thank you to Good Logic and his viewers. What's up, my man, Joe? How you doing? Guys, Joe has asked me to make a wonderful return to his show. And I am looking to do that sometime next week, probably, because I don't think this week is going to happen for that. But Joe is my man. Definitely going to do that. I would love to have Joe come on this show, too. We're going to try and find a time for him to come back. He's always a great guest. And I heard that he had some differing opinions on the Supreme Court oral. Like, look, people like their oral differently. I like my oral done well. Joe likes his oral done however that was. That's not up to me. That's not on me. But I think it might be a good discussion to see what he liked about the oral argument of Trump's lawyers, what he didn't like. Rumor has it he didn't really like it. I mean, I can see some points where maybe it's not the most satisfying. Not that, I mean, it's not his fault. He was born that way. But I can see that. But also, one thing to bear in mind with oral argument is that basically your argument's made in your briefings and they're submitted. And Joe knows this. I'm not mean mugging Joe or down talking him. Obviously, Joe knows all this shit. This is for the audience. Joe knows the primary arguments are made in the briefings, and then an oral argument, you're really likely not changing any opinions. You're summarizing and smashing pages and pages and pages of drafted briefing backed up by hundreds of thousands of pages of research, and you're condensing it into a 1 hour session of oral where questions come at you, and they're going to attack basically your knowledge of the subject, thought about certain roundabout or vague or obscure concepts where this thing might apply in a different way or whatever. They're going to do that for you and see if you can come up with answers that they're looking for. They're looking to quote your oral argument, especially if there was something in the brief that didn't get fully fleshed out. They're looking to find how you answer these questions, see if it matches up with what they've thought or if it goes completely against it. And then they're going to go ahead and probably not change their mind because your written briefing is usually better than your oral argument. Now, Joe knows this, of course. But what Joe is doing, though, is, he's going after the content that we have, which is the oral argument, talking about it. And just because your briefing is the best way to deliver your argument does not mean you should be lax on oral. Never be lax on oral. Don't do it. That would be terrible. Always give oral 1,000%. Because if you don't do that, well, then am
I wrong?
You're not wrong, Walter. You're just an asshole.
That's right. You're just an asshole. All right, guys. I do see that Rumble was maybe down at first, but now it's up. Seems like it's up now. Hopefully the Rumble stream is up. Rumble, by the way, hey guys, how's it going? If you're there on Rumble, please go ahead and throw me a nice little throw me some little indication there. It seems like it is going. So, not sure what's up. StreamYard has been weird lately. So here's what happens on StreamYard. On StreamYard, I start the stream. All right. And then, it starts a timer, a stream time, like how long your stream has been active. YouTube will run for like 2 minutes. And then it'll reset the timer to 0. And that's like when Rumble runs. And I don't know what the fuck is up with that. I have no idea. But right now on StreamYard, I got 4 minutes and 39 seconds, 40 now, on the YouTube video. And I've got 2 minutes and 59 seconds on StreamYard. So I think that AC2 Patriots says, why are you not using the new Rumble Studio? I haven't tested it out yet. I have to be in my office and test out the streaming software. And you have to move over a bunch of shit or make Ryan do it or whatever to get to that, to be able to do the stream like I normally do. And I just have not had time during the day to do that. I know it sounds weird, but that's how it is. Okay. Nice to see you, Ricada. Who slicks your hair? Well, I just got out of the shower right before the stream. And so it's still mildly wet, and it's got, it's got a little bit of like, not like product like hairspray or mousse or anything, but just some nice like smoothing and softening shit or whatever. Now, guys, at this point, I'm basically a woman. You know this. Just go for it. Is Restream any better than StreamYard? No, it's used the same back end stuff. My only problem with StreamYard and Restream and all of these others is it has a very simplistic back-end audio processing where it tries to predict what the streamer wants people to hear if there are multiple audio channels going. So if you've got a video up and you talk over the video, it's going to try and prioritize the streamer's voice over the video. If you have multiple people, it gets really confused and it tries to pick out volumes and shit like that. If you have people calling in, fuck everything up. So it has this back-end AI audio processing that you can't control. Like if you could just turn it off and have everybody's audio go, natively straight through it, that'd be really cool, but you can't. So Restream has the same back-end processing for most of these things. I think it's all based on Zoom, if I had to guess, but I'm just not a big fan of that. Dark Tiggler says, Nick is really, really, really busy every single day. Yeah, basically that's how it goes. Anyway, we're not going to spend too much time on it. I am going to say this now, and I'm going to try and remember later. 99.9% sure there will be no stream tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is Valentine's Day, which means probably not what you think. But it's actually not important that it's Valentine's Day tomorrow. I do believe that I will not be able to stream for that. Lady Raggets and I not big on Valentine's Day in general. Like every time I try to do something, she's like, why? I go, I don't know. It's nice. Okay. Wow. If you do something the day before or the day after Valentine's, ecstatic. On Valentine's Day, she's not a fan. So whatever, saves me a lot of time and trouble, which is awesome. But have other stuff going on tomorrow night. Probably not going to do a stream. Trying to announce that now. I'll try and announce it once it's fully confirmed on Locals, ricadalaw.locals.com for all your show announcement needs. Tell you where I'm streaming, where I'm not, whatever. There. Let's see. What else do we have? Do we have any other? I don't think we have any other announcement things to go through. There still should be shows Thursday and Friday like normal. I say like normal, like they're supposed to be. I shouldn't say like normal. But no, Max, we're not going anywhere for Valentine's Day. It's not about Valentine's Day. It's just some stuff. Okay. Hans 1PK says only 1 hour of oral allowed, or can it be longer? You typically get an hour each. I mean, the Supreme Court can do whatever they want. Let's see. Blue Varo. Well, thank you for announcing your paralegal status. 27 months as a member. Slick 556 says, if you didn't do a law show, what topic, hobby, or interest do you think you'd enjoy doing a show about? What non-law stream would you like to be on? All right. One of the topics I really like to talk about, but a lot of people hate when I talk about, so I don't do it as like I did for a while. I don't do it as often anymore. I like to talk about relationships between men and women. I like to talk about marriage. I like to talk about the dynamics that have shifted around those topics today versus, like 20 years ago, which is the last time I dated anybody. So like, that's wildly interesting to me. I like the topic. I think that I probably have a shitload to say about marriage. How to, like how you do it, how you don't do it, all of that stuff. So I love those topics. They're really interesting to me. They're not always interesting to this particular audience because they're here for law stuff, I guess, and dick jokes and racism. So not going to say it. That's what they're here for. And it doesn't always fly as well. Although sometimes people really resonate with it, but it all depends who's watching. Trying to keep the consistency around Mainly legal themed topics for now, but sometimes some other stuff, slips in there, just like on Valentine's Day. But that's a really interesting topic to me, just because I think I'm very much like an interpersonal communicator. I love talking to people. I love hearing their stories. I love finding out about their life, how they do life, all of that shit. That's more interesting to me than almost anything on the planet. So I like communicating with other people and getting that, and also how you get that. Relationships, specifically like romantic and intimate relationships, are how people engage in communicating their entire story to someone and then building an entirely new story with someone in the long run. And I see it on kind of the brink of some major changes right now, and that intrigues me. So that's the topic I would that I like doing. I would love to do a show about. I don't think anybody on earth would fucking watch that, but I would love to talk about it all the time. What a non-law stream would you like to be on? That's a really good question. That's a really good question. Right now, I'm not the biggest fan of being on too many shows. I have no idea. Who, what would that be? I don't watch anything anymore, like on YouTube. I don't watch YouTube very much. I don't watch Rumble. Like, I don't have time alone, away from like kids. So I can't watch anything with like tons of profanity or mature topics. So what non-law related stream would I be on? I mean, the Whatever podcast I would love to go to. I've been invited a while back, but I haven't been able to get out to it lately. That would be a fun show. I really do think so. But I haven't been there. Slightly Offensive, duh. I'm probably going to be on Slightly Offensive very soon, and stuff like that. But, All right. So with that, Scott Adams, the Dilbert guy, I would have troubles being on Scott Adams because I like Dilbert. I like some of his takes, and then the other takes, he's retarded. So I don't know how to deal with that. Is there a trial you're wanting to cover in the near future? Yes. Courtney Clenny. John says Nick wants to coom on the 20-year OnlyFans model guest on Whatever. No, actually, you'd be surprised who does, though. I just think that the life perspective that all of these people, everybody at that table always has. And I'm talking about the Whatever guy, the random little Asian chick, the guest, the based guest that they always bring on, and then all these like club girls. They don't have any fucking concept of like life or money or how the world works or whatever. And none of them, though. And so I'm sitting there going, all of these people are wildly interesting to me. All of them. I don't know that I'd want to actually like spend a bunch of time hanging out with all of them. There's some people who are interesting, but some of the guests are like the base guests or whatever. They're like, holy shit. Like, this person's perspective on life is so fucking radically different than anybody I've ever seen or talked to. That's the stuff that intrigues me about that show. All right, here we go. Joey Archapa says, what's up, Nostradamus? What's in Fanny's future? Hopefully, hopefully getting terminated from her job because she seems to have breached some ethical duties. We'll find out Thursday, I think, is her hearing. So Fannie Willis and Nathan Wade, maybe I can either cover that hearing or, grab it and cover it for the night show. I'm not sure. Not sure what we can do there. Let's see. True Ananda Shabbat, Bad Pressure, Bad Kev Care. Hey, what's up? Says, hi, Rackets. How you doing? It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. Finally, we've got Hans 1PK's only 1 hour of oral allowed. Oh, wait, I read that one. Damn. All right, guys. Here's what we're going to do today. It's very, very straightforward. Very, very gay forward. We're going to go ahead and we're going to pull up the Gina Carano lawsuit. I was kind of not talking about it, not for any particular reason. I wasn't going to talk about it because I figure everybody is going to talk about it. I was like, do I really want to get into this? Not really. But maybe I want Disney to eat a bunch of shit. I really do. I want Disney to get fucking raked over the coals by Gina Carano and Elon Musk. I think that's great. I think that'd be fantastic. Hey, thanks, Bad Energy John. Wait, Bad Energy John, how can you send people good vibes? That don't make sense. Don't make no sense. But yeah. So I was hesitating. Whatever. Is this thing going to like be? Of course it's a thing. I've seen people talk about it. And allegedly, I have reviewed this lawsuit, and my review received an F grade on it because someone asked me to talk about the quote unquote defamatory statements about Gina Carano. So I answered about defamation. And this isn't a defamation suit, but someone asked me about defamatory statements. So that's what I answered. So with my F grade, thank you, Legal Mindset, a true bro, always looking out for everybody. Just kidding. He has rated me an F, which look, guys, I don't want to say this. I don't want to say this. We have a code in LawTube. I created it as the king of LawTube, as the supreme ruler, the ultimate champion, all that of LawTube, the one who knocks in LawTube. That's me. I created the code. Andrew knows the code. He had to abide by the code. He had to mushroom stamp his signature on the signatory line of the code, and he knows this. Andrew, you know this. If Andrew rates you an F, anyone he rates an F, we don't use Fs in LawTube. We don't do that. That's against the rules. It's against the code. The Pope's decree says no Fs. No Fs given, right? Right? I think all of us have said this at some point. That's our well, no Fs given. We don't give an F. When you do give an F, everybody Andrew has given an F to. Specifically what he's saying right then. The moment he's like, I'm gonna rate this person F. He wants to fuck. He wants to fuck hard. He wants to fuck hard and fast and dirty and sweaty. So, Legal Mindset. Who else did you rate F? Because I know you're hot for me, brother. Or should I say, who else you hot for? All right. So, look, that's the thing. But now we're going to get out of the F tier. We're going to read the lawsuit. I've never read it. I never read the complaint at all. And we're gonna see what's in here. Haven King says, didn't you say yesterday you'd beat up Carano in a WWE match? Well, no, but yes. Gina, I'm coming for you. And I don't mean like most guys say it. So my first experience, exposure, whatever. My first awareness of Gina Carano was Showtime had a competing mixed martial arts fighting league. I don't remember what it was called. Elite MMA or something. Doesn't matter. Showtime briefly had it. They had Frank Shamrock in there. They had Crazy Horse. They had Gina Carano. They had a couple others. UFC had just really started up with women. Gina Carano gets brought over to this thing, and I watched her fight. Like, it was a good fight. I think it was a good fight. Maybe it was a shit fight. I don't remember, but that's where I learned about Gina Carano. Kind of got her backstory, kickboxing, all that shit. Cool. Other than that, don't really care. Don't know much about her. She's like a pretty woman who fights people, which is always awesome. Always awesome. So with that, didn't pay attention to her. And then suddenly, I don't hear about her for years and years and years. And suddenly The Mandalorian comes out. Gina Carano's on The Mandalorian. And it turns out she's actually kind of like normal. She's like a normal human with real opinions. She's not like a Hollywood parrot. But she works for Disney. And so it's like, well, this is weird. Like, how did that happen? But okay, cool. She has her She does her thing. And then, of course, she gets canceled off The Mandalorian. Why? Racist. I don't know. I don't know why. She's going to allege that she had wrong think on Twitter. And then now, long time after she gets canned from The Mandalorian, she is now suing, well, it looks like the Walt Disney Company, Lucasfilm Limited, LLC, and Huckleberry Industries Incorporated. So we're going to see why. It's going to have to do, I guess, with some sort of wrongful termination type claim, discrimination based on political viewpoint. I'm not sure. This is brought in the U.S. District Court of California. I thought this was brought in Florida. California makes more sense, but it's right here. Central District of California, which is, I think, where you have to bring Twitter. I think you have to sue Twitter in the Central District. Oh, wait, no. Not Twitter. Okay, so she chooses Central District of California. Now, here's why I think she does. Here's why I think she does, and I don't know this because I literally haven't read it. My guess is they're going to go with the California Civil Rights Code, which has a provision as a protected class for political viewpoint. Political viewpoint discrimination in California was originally brought up in the 60s, and it was really limited by the California courts to only apply to pro-homosexual political viewpoints. That's why they brought it up. Again, it's in the 60s, and all these homos were coming out supporting other homos, and people were getting in trouble, getting fired or whatever. So they codified political viewpoint discrimination, but they've since really limited and circumscribed it to this sort of pro-gay position, which is just doggy style. So that's where it's been. Now, does that mean that the lawsuit has no chance? No. The language of the statute doesn't limit it to that. That's just the jurisprudence behind it. And there's reasons for it. Like, if you say you can't fire people for political viewpoints, at some level of that, you run the risk of violating the First Amendment rights of the company or the particular manager or the CEO or whoever who says, look, we're going to fire this person because they're harming us with their political viewpoints. You go, okay, well, you disagree with their political viewpoints and they're voicing them and they do that, then you can fire them, I guess, because you have a First Amendment right of free association and you have First Amendment right of this. But she is suing that. I would imagine that's why it's Central District of California. Now, the question's going to be, though, is federal court, but is there a choice of law provision in her contract? Does the Walt Disney Company demand that you litigate contracts in a certain venue or under a certain law? Maybe required that they litigate under California law, Florida law, whatever. We'll get into all that, but I'm going to guess that's why she brought the complaint in California. It's the only place I can imagine, or the only reason I would imagine bringing it in California, other than that she's there, and that would be more convenient for her. But Disney, Lucasfilm, and Huckleberry Industries are not going to have problems bringing people to California to litigate. So it's kind of weird, but we'll see. Shoot Groomer says, when we swapping AIDS? Ooh, that's a good question. That is a good question. Wait, what brand of AIDS do you have? Why would I swap AIDS with you? Cyberhunk 2069 says, is legal mindset excommunicado now? Now, that motherfucker's been excommunicado since he was born. Correct, Andrew. You're out the group that I don't control and have actively disavowed and hate to be in. Get out. Pope has spoken. Nominee and patriot, filiate, spiritu, fisty right up your ass. Okay, here we go. And then Winston Smith says, it's supposed to be a gentleman's C. An F is a gentleman's C. Well, he better give me that gentleman's C and make it a good F or he's toast. Okay, guys, let's start reading. I have no idea what this is about. We're going to go until we can't go anymore. Like, you get tired, get a little drained, and you just lay down, turn on the fan or whatever and cool off. That's what we're going to do. My mascara is running on my left eye. That would be funny. Do I have? It's my left eye. No, that's just oh God, dude, that's just me being old. That's just a bag. That's just me being old and never sleeping. All right. Complaint. Here we go. Plaintiff Gina Carano, I don't know why I said it like that, through undersigned counsel, files this complaint for damages and equitable relief against defendants, the Walt Disney Company, Disney, Lucasfilm Ltd, LLC, Lucasfilm, and Huckleberry Industries U.S. Incorporated, Huckleberry, collectively, the defendant's introduction a short time ago in a galaxy not so far away. I'm not a fan. I get it. There is performative shit going on. They know that people will read this online. There is going to be a performance element for it. The authors of this, the lawyers involved, they're gonna take a little pleasure. They're gonna be given a little leeway to do it. You always are, right? Your clients want a little dramatic flair usually, unless the case is, you don't want a dramatic flair if you're filing in like a molestation case or something like that. But in something like this, it's wrongful termination, involves a big company. Yeah, gonna be a little cheeky with it, but I'm not a fan of it anyway. If you're not funny, don't write something that's not funny. If you're funny, write something funny. This isn't a short time ago in a galaxy, not so far away. It's not funny, witty, or clever. One of my English professors or my writing professors in undergrad, her name was Judy Wilson. She's great in a lot of ways. I don't know if she's a good writer or not, but she did have a really good advice. She said, she's from, I think Mississippi or Missouri. I can't remember. She had a real thick Southern accent. She said, don't try to be clever. You ain't clever. You ain't clever. You're not clever. Don't try to be clever. Just be clever by being clever, but you're not clever. Don't try to do it. It's really good advice when you think about it. And this seems too fucking clever. It's too like obvious. It feels forced. Like the last person Vince McMahon fucked. Defendants made it clear that only one orthodoxy in thought, speech, or action was acceptable in their empire. Empire, nice reference. And that those who dared to question or failed to fully comply would not be tolerated. And so it was with Carano. After 2 highly acclaimed seasons on The Mandalorian as Rebel Ranger Cara Dune. Carano was terminated from her role as swiftly as her character's peaceful home planet of Alderaan had been destroyed by the Death Star in an earlier Star Wars film. Is it tiring yet? Is it tiring yet? It's tiring me out already. Look, they know they've got a judge who's watched Star Wars, probably watched Star Wars in theaters when it came out, based on the average age of judges. They know what's going on, but still, come on. And all this because she dared voice her own opinions on social media platforms and elsewhere and stood up to the online bully mob who demanded her compliance with their extreme progressive ideology. All right. Here is a problem that I have with this immediately, right out the gate. Okay. She dared voice her own opinions on social media platforms and elsewhere, stood up to the online bully mob. One of the things Gina Carano has consistently said about the tweets that allegedly got her fired, comparing, quote unquote, comparing modern Christians to modern conservatives to Jews in the Holocaust, is that she actually wasn't posting her opinion. She would find provocative tweets, retweet them without commentary, sometimes with commentary, just asking people for thoughts and comments on it. She claims elsewhere that it's not her own opinion, other people's opinions that she's inviting commentary on. And I wonder if that's what she's been saying in interviews. So I wonder if we're going to run into a situation where the things she's said in public conflict with the things she's saying in her lawsuit. I don't know. I haven't read it. But if she does that, she's got a problem. Quartering says show tits. Oh, Jeremy, that's only on locals, brother. It's only on locals. Dude, how you been? Jeremy, the Quartering. Guys, check out the Quartering. A good friend, always a great supporter of the channel, always a very nice guy, very cordial, and he's been on some streams. He's had me on some streams and looking to get back on his show pretty soon. I know he sent me some invites, or like not invites. It's more like a passive invite. Like, I guess you could show up at this time. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to fucking find out when I can do it. But go check him out. He's a good dude. He says, you're always big timing me. Come on my Tiny Rumble show. Yeah, dude, I know. I absolutely will. Love to be on. My schedule's been shit lately, but I will definitely make it a priority. I've been looking to get back to talk to you. And guys, brand coffee, go get it. Quartering is a great dude. He's had some wild stuff happen to him, as a lot of content creators who get to a sufficient size. And I'm not talking about his viewer count. Just kidding, brother. He's been through some stuff, had some interesting stories. He's got a bunch of different takes. Go check him out. Finally, because Ben SC says, sounds like you and Mindset need to have a struggle session. Anyone know of a wedding to invite him to? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That'd be so fucking funny. And then we've got Shoot Groomer says, next time you come to Philly, we will swap. I have super gades. Oh, so I get gay AIDS from you and you get regular AIDS from me. There we go. All right. Oh, I suppose I should briefly mention, guys, this is, there's a weirdo on Twitter named Ian Miles Chungus. And he may be arrested for sedition or something because he does live in a despotic shithole. I don't know. No one should be arrested for their speech. But I also don't give a shit about Ian Miles Chung, so reap what you sow. All right, here we go. Back to this. This is the thing. This could be a problem for Gina if she asserts over and over that's not her opinions that she was expressing, but then says for expressing her opinion, she was fired. Raga Horace says the filing really isn't that interesting or groundbreaking, but well laid out with receipts. That's how filings should be. They're not interesting. Usually reading these things is boring. Probably here. With an unbiased court, this gets discovery easy, in my opinion. FYI, chat gave the F. Mindset wanted a D. Shocking no one. Mindset, if you wanted the D, just ask. You think I can't fly to Korea? Why am I Mexican? Weird says, should have asked Mindset. He ranked your take lower than Nate's. Andrew has insight into Disney. I don't care. Let's do this real quick before people miss the jokes. Guys, I didn't read anything about the suit. I don't care what grade Andrew or his chat or whatever gave me. I didn't read the suit. I didn't read any of these documents. Someone asked me about defamatory statements. I answered that on my local stream one night, probably drunk, maybe in a hot tub. I'm not sure. But that's it. I don't hold malice over the fucking rating. I don't care about the rating. It's kayfabe, guys. It's fun. Uncivil Law says, Ricada, I thought this lawsuit was a pile of garbage and had a disturbing lack of receipts. Fast track to dismiss. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Now, hey, Kurt, here's a question for you. Is this anti-slappable? I don't know the claims yet. I'm not sure. But if the claims involve essentially public speech, California's anti-slap is very broad. That anti-slap could be a huge problem. Huge problem. But anyway, hope you're doing well, brother. I'll try and give you a call tomorrow. I know I haven't been in contact with many people lately. It's been, again, fucking busy. But I'll try and give you a call tomorrow. It's been too long since we talked. Harvey Weinstein says, can't wait till you have Carl back on Long Overdue. Yes, Carl Jobs said he would be on the show after his lawsuit. He said he'd invite himself on. He's invited on whenever, but if he's got a lawsuit coming up, he's in Australian court. I don't want to fuck around with that at all because I don't know how to help him avoid the pitfalls of Australian courts in his case. But when he's done with the lawsuit, I think Billy Mitchell has sued him. I would love to have him on. Guy's great. I want to have him on for a, direct examination. I haven't done one of those in a long time. I would love to have him on for that. He's an interesting guy. And I've got a couple other people to tag for that. My schedule's been a mess, so I haven't actually been able to prioritize scheduling someone because I keep having to cancel shows last minute. So Kurt says, lol, I just kick it on standard motion to dismiss. No need for anti-slap. Well, no need for anti-slap, but an anti-slap in California guarantees fees if you win. So that's and I know it's in federal court in California, but federal court in the Ninth Circuit applies California anti-slap. If it was in Fifth Circuit, it wouldn't. So there you go. Shoe Groomer says, you're mad the quartering has way bigger tits than you. Fat shame him. He would appreciate it. I'm not going to fat shame Jeremy. Why would I do that? Guys, you asked me to fat shame people, and that's horrible. It's really fucking horrible. Like, I don't need to fat shame the quartering. He's fat shamed by just standing up in the morning. If he can even wake up in the morning without, having an entire Totino's pizza shoved into his gullet. He's fat shamed by the mirrors where he can't see either side of him. He's fat shamed by the beard who can't hide his third chin. He's fat shamed in life by the 8th pair of ripped pants that morning as he desperately tries to pull them on to go sit down on a chair that actually cries in an accent when he lands. He doesn't need my help. He's fat shamed every day by God. You know why he's fat shamed by God? You're like, oh, wow, God made him fat and then made fun of him? No, God didn't make him fat. God just laughed when he kept eating. He doesn't need a fat shame. All right, here we go. Jesus Christ, that was mean. Hey, what's up? How's it going, Jeremy? Here we go. Defendants' wrath over their employees' social media posts also differed depending on sex. If you're given sex, not bad. Even though, quote, the force is female, end quote, defendants chose to target a woman while looking the other way. When it came on to men, while Carano was fired, defendants took no action against male actors who took equally or more vigorous and controversial positions on social media. Now, this actually is an employment law theory called disparate treatment. So you can have policies about types of speech or whatever. But you have disparate treatment and disparate impact. If you can demonstrate a clear treatment, an intentional treatment of a protected status, sex, gender, identity, national origin, religion, those things, if you can show that treatment being overtly different, you've got it. And then the other one is disparate impact. If all of the policies are race neutral on their face or whatever, but they only affect black people, because like you can't smoke menthols or whatever, then you have disparate impact. So a specific group of people is targeted in a certain way, even though the language is facially neutral. Fine. Disparate treatment says that you actually actively treat different people differently. So that's what they're going to, or that seems like kind of the theory they're going with here. Is that they didn't treat men the same way they treated this woman. But that might be tough unless they have other examples that are specifically women. Treating one woman differently than all of the men doesn't necessarily create a pattern. But the rule of law still reigns over the defendant's empire, and Carano has returned to demand that they be held accountable for their bullying, discriminatory, and retaliatory actions that inflicted not only substantial emotional harm, but millions of dollars in lost income. So jurisdiction. Here we go. Weird says, Elon probably doesn't care about winning. He wants discovery. Disney is always settled. Elon wants to legally show off the tweets. Discovery is the goal. Now look, I know there's some discussion amongst some lawyers in the LawTube area who say that, this will probably settle. These types of cases settle. I mean, maybe, but if they're after something other than money, because they're a moneyed party, maybe they don't settle. Maybe they are after discovery. Maybe they do want to have access to things that they don't have access to if they settle. I don't know. We'll have to see. But Gina Carano is not paying for this lawsuit. And depending on the agreement, like let's say she loses in an anti-slap, for example. If she does that, is Elon Musk and Twitter going to pay the fee shifting? Are they going to pay any judgments that she has if they get countersued. I don't know. They don't always do that. They sometimes do. We'll have to see. And then finally, Weird says, you ever put these things through the Chat GPT for analysis? No, I don't really care what Chat GPT says. All right. So this court has jurisdiction over the subject matter of this action pursuant to 22 U.S.C. 1332, 1343 between persons and entities of different states, and the amounts in controversy exceeds 75,000. This is diversity jurisdiction. This is why they're in federal court. Venue is proper because defendants reside in this district, because a substantial part of the events or omissions giving rise to Carano's claim occurred in this district, and because Carano is employed by defendants in this district. So you do have Disneyland, which I believe is in the Central District of Colorado. So Disney has physical presence there. Disney has presence almost everywhere, but specifically this one. Carano brings this action under California Labor Code 1101 to 1105, Section 98.6, and California Government Code 12940. If I'm not mistaken, this is an unfair business practices claim. And the unfair business practices claim typically is that if they did something illegal in business, they get this unfair business practice claim as a catch-all. But I don't know if that's actually true, if that's what it actually is. Carano has requested and received a notice of right to sue from the California Civil Rights Department, has otherwise exhausted her administrative remedies, complied with all necessary conditions precedent to filing the suit. A true and correct copy of the notice of right to sue is attached as Exhibit A. So what you have in some of these employment provisions, specifically like the Equal Opportunity Employment Act of the United States, you have to exhaust administrative remedies first, make you try that, and then if they don't work, then you get to go ahead and sue in court. But they're trying to keep these cases out of court, use administrative law to take care of it. So that's actually a hurdle you have to get past a lot of time. Weird says, in the words of Elon Musk, hey, Bob. Hey, Bob. Open cloth. Show Bob. All right, so the nature of the case. This is civil action arising from defendant's wrongful termination of Carano's employment in retaliation for Carano's lawful exercise of right to speak and express her views. Specifically, defendants under the regime of former Disney CEO Bob Chapek. Oh, that's right. Hey, Bob was from when Elon Musk was speaking at an event. Bob Chapek was there and he called him out. Hayami, I hear a wonderful legal shit show to present to you with a company called Niji Sanji. You may have no interest in the community, but the legal clown show that's going on with Niji Sanji should be fun for review. This is, if I'm not mistaken, a VTuber community, right? Or VTuber company, Hayami. I just saw something on Twitter about it today. I'd not heard of it prior. Are VTubers suing people and companies? That should be fucking great. I hope so. I'll look into it if it's funny. If it involves VTubers, it's funny. We'll look into it because it could be fun to cover. Yes. Okay, so that was Bob Iger, not Chapek. Okay, he called up Bob Iger. Why are all these Bobs there? All right, here we go. Bob Chapek fired Carano because of her posts on various social media platforms, including X, formerly known as Twitter. Carano composed and published the post while she was off duty and away from the workplace. All right. Here we go. Your first issue. Gina Carano is a gig worker who's a public figure whose publicity is utilized. Her publicity and celebrity are utilized to bring her into the workforce. Being off duty and away from the workplace, is she ever, is Chris Evans ever away from the workplace if he's tweeting? No, his workplace is himself, his social media will be the argument. So we've already got this weird expression going. She's away from the workplace. I don't know that even like B-listers, C-listers, celebrities, Q-listers like me, I don't know that they actually are ever away from the workplace when doing this. So not sure. They're going to try and frame this as a personal action, not related to her employment. And then they'll say, well, they fired her and terminated her for personal stuff and not her employment stuff. So that's a wrongful termination. That's a stretch. We also need to see the contract to find out if there's any specific provision keeping her social media hers and separating it from the company. Rockahora says, Kirk thrown out of AutoZone again. What would Kirk think is Kurt, I think you mean Kurt, is sufficient to prove she was fired for political views? Beside the email, Kennedy unknowingly CC'd Carano about her and why she was fired. We'll get there. We'll get there. All right, here we go. Interpost, yeah. Carano expressed her personal political views, opinions, and beliefs. In retaliations for her exercise of free speech, her speech rights defendants terminated her employment and took other retaliatory actions to limit and deny her future employment opportunities, including but not limited to making maliciously false statements about Carano with the intention of damaging her reputation and thus her ability to find and retain work. Here we have a problem. Let's get to this first legal problem. Just because you are not suing for defamation, all right? The underlying claim here is now based in part on speech. Now you're under anti-SLAPP in many jurisdictions. I don't know if you definitely are in California, but I think you probably are. The underlying claim here, maliciously false statements about Carano with the intention of damaging her reputation. That sounds a lot like defamatory speech, right? The reason it sounds like it is because that's what it is. Even if you don't label it as defamation, you're now tiptoeing into the realm of the undergirding tortious action being a defamatory statement that damages a reputation. If that's the case, even if you're not suing for defamation, anti-SLAPP laws can often be applied and an anti-SLAPP motion can be raised. If this thing goes against anti-SLAPP in California, she's got a really big fucking hurdle. So that's a problem. Weird says, did you see the leaked vid of Bob admitting politics or the claim Disney's National Geographic's docs the Afghans who helped U.S. troops? Nope. I don't watch any of that shit. Sorry. This is a big problem for Gina Carano. If they can successfully bring any of the speech-related tortious activity under that anti-SLAPP motion, she's in real trouble. Further, defendants treated Carano differently than her similarly situated male coworkers who likewise expressed their personal political views on social media, but upon information and belief, were not counseled or disciplined, let alone terminated. Cool. Because defendants took action that harmed her in violation of the law of the state, Carano is entitled to relief sought herein. She's a citizen and resident of the state of Montana, County of Gallatin. Defendant Walt Disney Company is incorporated under the laws of the state of Delaware with its principal place of business in Burbank, California. Accordingly, Walt Disney Company is a citizen of the states of Delaware and California. It does business in Los Angeles County, California. Defendant Lucasfilm is incorporated under the laws of the states of California with its principal place of business in San Francisco. So we've got California and California defendants here. Perfect. Accordingly, it's a citizen of the state of California's wholly owned subsidiary of the Walt Disney Company, does business in LA County. And then Huckleberry Industries incorporated in the laws of California as well. Principal place of business in San Francisco. So we have full diversity. Gina Carano is a citizen resident of Montana. These others are California. So that is how we get to diversity jurisdiction. Hey, what's up, Rita Castillo? How you doing? Camelot. What up, Kumalot? Guys, my boy, Cody, Camelot. Kumalot is here in the chat. He is, he's not a skinny man, but he is a great man. And he just had a very, very fucking fantastic crowdfunding campaign with Ethan Van Sciver. And that's going to help him race a couple NASCAR races coming up. Fucking awesome, brother. Congrats. We got to talk very soon. Camelot, you're not driving to Daytona and watching my show. You're not doing that. You drive to Daytona and watch my show when you get there. That's what you're doing. Camelot says, does this motherfucker just call me? You're not fat. You're just not skinny. You're fat. Okay? Look. Fatso. Defendants were joint employees or employers of Carano, or alternatively constitute a single integrated employer for purposes of the allegations in this complaint. Perfect. So Scott Harris, this is a critical element that people are missing. Come on. Nick gets all model thin, starts shaming us hefty fucks. I'll send you some nudes. As if I haven't been. Scott Harris, no, I know it's not brought under defamation. All right. The problem is, do I have to do this? California anti-slap statute. Here we go. Short answer. California's anti-slap statute provides for a special motion to strike a complaint where the complaint arises from activity exercising the rights of petition and free speech. Just because you do not sue for defamation does not mean that the underlying activity doesn't involve free speech and the right of petition. They've just asserted that they made maliciously false statements about Gina Carano. You can bring it under employment law all day and say it's discriminatory, but they're going to, if they have any fucking brains, I would think. Maybe California practice is different, but if they have any brains, they would bring the anti-slap motion because they alleged, asshole. They alleged maliciously defamatory statements as the basis for their lawsuit. Just because you don't call it defamation doesn't mean it's not based on the exercise of free speech. It's under civil rights, not defamation. Yes, it doesn't matter what you call the claim. Here we go. Here we go. This is from, let's just go through this real quick. This is the California Anti-Slap Project, okay? People need to understand the distinction here. California's anti-slap statute provides for a special motion to strike complaint where the complaint arises from activity exercising the rights of petition and free speech. Statute first enacted in 1992. So here we go. Legislature finds and declares that there has been a disturbing increase in lawsuits brought primarily to chill the valid exercise of the constitutional rights of freedom of speech and petition for the redress of grievances. The legislature finds and declares that it is in the public interest to encourage continued participation in matters of public significance. This participation should not be chilled through abuse of judicial process. To this end, this section shall be construed broadly. Now, this is really important because I know what you're going to say. You say, but Gina's exercising her free speech and Disney stepped on it. Yeah, I got it. But the government isn't chilling Gina Carano's speech. Disney is, but Disney is chilling Gina Carano's speech with their own effectively political speech. If you understand that their removal of her speech or their criticism of her speech and their lawsuit or their public statements about it is based on speech. She doesn't call it defamation, but it's still based on defamatory statements. Cause of action against a person arising from any act of that person in furtherance of the person's right of free petition or free speech under the United States Constitution or the California Constitution in connection with the public issue shall be subject to a special motion to strike. So here's the thing. Gina Carano makes public tweets using her celebrity status to say something. All right. Disney terminates Gina Carano and says her tweets are offensive, anti-Semitic, not well considered, all these things. They say all these things. You can disagree with it all day. But that's part of the claim, if I'm not mistaken, specifically that they say these things. That is Disney's right of free speech and petition. This is a problem with anti-slap for Gina. Unless the court determines that the plaintiff has established there's a probability the plaintiff will prevail on the claim. In making its determination, the court shall consider the pleadings and supporting and opposing affidavits stating the facts upon which the liability or defense is based. If the court determines that the plaintiff has established a probability that he or she will prevail in the claim, neither that determination nor the fact of that determination shall be admissible in evidence at any later stage or in any subsequent action. All right, so except as provided in paragraph 2, in any action subject to subdivision B, a prevailing defendant on a special motion to strike shall be entitled to recover his or her attorney's fees and costs. The court finds that a special motion to strike is frivolous or solely intended to cause unnecessary delay. They shall award costs and reasonable attorney's fees to a plaintiff prevailing on the motion, pursuant to section 128.5. So here you go. Shall not apply to any enforcement action brought in the name of the people of the state of California by the attorney general, district attorney, or city attorney acting as a public prosecutor. So if the government brings it, no. As used in the section, act in furtherance of a person's right to or of petition of free speech under the Constitution or the California Constitution in connection with the public issue includes 1, any written or oral statement or writing made before a legislative, executive, or judicial proceeding or any other official proceeding authorized by law. 2, any written or oral statement or writing made in connection with an issue under consideration or review by legislative, executive, or judicial body or any other official proceeding authorized by law. 3, any written or oral statement or writing made in place open to the public or a public forum in connection with an issue of public interest. Nailed it. Political speech about conservatives being like the Jews. Like I know it's ridiculous, but it doesn't matter. This is the thing. They're saying it's anti-Semitic. Anti-Semitism is clearly a public interest issue. It's made in a place open to the public, Twitter, or any other conduct in furtherance of the exercise of the constitutional right of petition or the constitutional right of free speech in connection with a public issue or an issue of public interest. And again, so Gina Carano makes her initial statements. Disney doesn't prompt Gina Carano to make statements. Gina makes the statements. She has thrust herself into the conversation. Disney fires her, says these tweets are abhorrent. Gina sues for the reaction. Disney firing her. If Disney had demanded Gina Carano to make a statement about the Jews or the conservatives or whatever, and then she responded to them because they demanded her to, you've got a different story. I know this is an employment lawsuit. I know this is all of these things. It's definitely not defamation, but it's still based. Ignore the fact that there's statements that are defamatory, as they're claiming maliciously untrue statements. Ignore that fact and just say they are based on statements made in a public forum about a public concern, which is the shutting down of the conservative politic, the likening of conservatives to Jews, the government and the bastardized synergy between the public and the private speech on the subject and the views on the subject. Literally one of the most public statements made, claiming it's false and that it harmed Gina's reputation. And yet, kind of sounds like speech that harms her reputation, kind of sounds like defamation, even though they're not saying it. It's brought under employment law. It doesn't matter. You do not need to label it defamation for it to be based on free speech. Special motion may be filed within 60 days of service of complaint. Blah, 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 blah. All discovery shall be stated upon the filing of the motion. Now, I know you guys are wondering, like, why does this matter? What's up, Mary is me? Why does this matter? Well, I saw some people suggesting Elon's after discovery. People are asked after discovery. If you make this about reputational harm based on tweets made by Disney in response to requests for information about the firing, now your reputational harm is based on protected speech activity. You're not going to get to discovery. That's the fucking problem. Now, August Stevenson says, how can Gina's claim survive anti-slap? According to the statute for anti-slap, California's a little different. You have to show a likelihood of success on the merits. It's a civil suit. You have to show 51% chance that Gina Carano wins. Her employment claim, discrimination, all of that stuff. She has to show that she's likely to win on that issue. Now, that's different than other anti-slaps, which is actually really cool in a way, because you say, hey, look, I know you banned a bunch of speech. In Texas, for example, you have to provide specific evidence to kind of overcome this hurdle or burden of the anti-slap. California, you just have to say, no, yeah, it's about speech or whatever. We're going to kick their fucking asses. Here you go. That's what they have to do. They have to show a likelihood of success on the merits. They don't have to win after that. They just have to show it. But hey, that's not easy. The problem is they've set themselves up as a speech-based claim, even though they're not bringing it under a speech tort. The underlying behavior is under speech, and that's what matters. Who cares? Okay, so that's not important after that. We're going to go back to this thing and get back into the lawsuit. Christopher Dominguez. Hail, what's up? How you doing? All right, Carano's acting career takes off. So now we're in the facts section. We've gotten into all this other shit, the parties. We've gotten into some introductions, venue, jurisdiction, all that stuff. Now we are into the actual factual allegations. Carano's acting career takes off. Carano began her professional career as a successful mixed martial arts fighter before she was given the opportunity to try her hand at movies. Indeed, Carano is the first ever female star in mixed martial arts cage fighting to successfully transition to a career in movies. True. Breaking down substantial barriers for women in the sport. Guys, remember that this is the anti-woke complaint, right? Women's MMA had just really fucking hit mainstream. Gina Carano was the first star. Okay, I guess. This is what I hate. Like, look, you're talking about breaking down substantial barriers for women in the sport. I don't buy that shit, and I think it's really gay to throw it in there. Doesn't matter. Carano received roles in Hollywood and independent film productions such as Haywire, for which she was nominated for a Critics' Choice Award. I've never heard of that. For Best Actress in an Action Film, Fast and the Furious 6, Heist, Deadpool, Almost Human, Extraction is cool, Daughter of the Wolf, and Madness in the Method. I've only seen Deadpool and Extraction. Those are good. Fast and the Furious 6. Is that the one where Paul Walker was already dead? I don't know. On May 13th, 2008, Gina Carano was the fastest rising search on Google and third most searched person on Yahoo, while being ranked number 5 on Yahoo's top 10 influential women of 2008 list. The top 5 women, far below the top 500,000 men. In 2012, Carano was the first recipient of the Action Fest Film Festival's Chuck Norris Award for Best Female Action Star. Cool. 2017, Carano received the Artemis Action Warrior Award. 2019, Carano received the Rising Star Award at Ischia Film Festival. Also in 2019, Carano was selected to present the Saturn Visionary Award to Jon Favreau at the 45th Saturn Awards. Cool, I guess. Carano was employed by defendants effective September 18th, 2018 for the role of Cara Dune, Disney Plus series The Mandalorian. Defendants prominently featured Carano when promoting the new series as part of the launch of Disney's new streaming service, Disney Plus. Following is an example of defendants' promotional materials. Cool. New Star Wars story blasts off. Although her character instantly became one of the most recognized and popular characters in the series. Again, I know we don't have to do defamation law analysis, but they're basically claiming she is a matter of public concern here. She is. Absent the tweets she's talking about, most recognized and popular characters in the series on Disney. Carano's master agreement listed her as a guest actor at the minimum salary of $25,000 per episode. That's not actually much. $25 grand an episode? Like, don't get me wrong, it's good money. How many episodes are in The Mandalorian season 1? 22 or 10? Season 1. How many fucking episodes? 8? That's not very many, fam. That's just $200K. That's just $200K?
No shit.
Holy fuck.
Unacceptable.
All right. Carano fulfilled all obligations under the terms of her master agreement, and each SAG-AFTRA, HBS VOD, Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, high budget subscription video on demand, minimum 3-day or weekly agreement. Cool. Like, 3-day or weekly agreement doesn't matter if you're doing episodic payment. Because of Carano's contributions to the success of season 1, her agent sought an increase in her pay, but defendants refused, instead offering her a one-time bonus of $5 grand, again, the minimum of $25 grand per episode, which she was to appear in season 2. She fulfilled all obligations under the terms of her agreement with defendants. Gina Carano for The Mandalorian from Disney made $200,000 a year. That's it. What? Are you fucking kidding me? What are these people doing? Gina, what are you doing? She's only in 4 of those episodes. Oh, no, stop. No. Oh, my God. That's horrible. All I ever saw was people praising her. I figured she made a shitload of money. I mean, it was a good show, apparently. When I say good, I mean well-performing show, well-liked by the Disney Plus community, popular, good performing. I said good performing. And she was a great contribution. She's a big draw. Oh, my God. She's a draw to the show, from what I heard. Cara Dune was important. I don't know. Guy who likes Healy says she wasn't the star of the show. She shouldn't be making millions. Dude, if it's $25K a show and she's in 4 episodes per season, she made $200K total. I mean, people watched that shit for Gina Carano specifically, especially the second season. She should have been making way more than that. But who knows? We'll see if she has any other financial incentives as we go. Here's the deal, guys. We're an hour in. We're going to do the Rumble flip. Do a flip like Epstein. And then we're going to do a bathroom break, and I will be back in just a moment. Look, if you're on YouTube, come with a U. Watch us on Rumble. If you have not been watching on Rumble lately, it's been a minute. It's improved. They're constantly making improvements. The chat's better. The video player is better. The interface is better. The UI is pretty similar, but it's got some nice little friendly tweaks. Come check us out. If you're on YouTube and you're leaving or going to Rumble or dying where you stand, hit that thumbs up button if you like this stuff. Look, if you guys love, like, or just even tolerate me reading lawsuits and going through them and talking about issues as they come up, hit the thumbs up. If you want me to do this shit more, let me know. Because it's always hard to gauge the type of shit people are interested in as giant groups. It's easy to gauge what like 3 people whining in comments say. It's hard to gauge what people like in larger numbers. So if you like this, click like on YouTube, click like on Rumble. Please do so. Help me always deliver you the content that you want, which I know is actually just butthole pictures, but you only get that in my exclusive $200 a month tier on Locals. And I know a lot of you know that because you're on there, and I know you by name and by your tits. Okay, here we go, guys. We're going to peace out of YouTube, transition to Rumble. We will see you over there in just a second. If you don't go to Rumble, have a good night. If you do go to Rumble, hold on to your butts. Peace. Peace.